Hello, tribe. This is Valerie White Williams, and I'm live streaming at a different time today, but this is the only chance I've had a chance. So whoever comes on comes on, and whoever doesn't, you can see me later. So what I'm talking about today is clairvoyance requires neutrality. So last week I was talking a bit about my training at the Washington Psychic Institute and how we were taught to use our clairvoyant skills, or the clairs. We talked about clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. But when we were learning to read, the primary thing that we were focused on is clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. Sounds easy, sounds good, but part of how we were taught to do clairvoyance is we had to learn to clear our programming. Now, programming is a word that has a bit of energy around it, I'll say. We used to say that, energy around it, because it sounds weird, it sounds crazy. But to the truth of the matter is, we've all been programmed our entire life. We have programming from the very beginning as we come out of this planet. We come down to the planet, and the programming is a family program. We have social programming. We have religious programming. We have programming learned in school. Now, the programming is how we are supposed to see things, what's true and what isn't true. And if you think you haven't had any programming, you've sold out, or you don't understand. We've all been programmed. And so learning to read and see things clairvoyantly, part of the learning was to remove the programming. And it's hard to remove the programming when it's right here and you think it's real, because, we're all taught that way. So it's really kind of painstaking process to let go of lies that we hold as truth. So that was another thing they would talk about. We are letting go of lies that we have been holding as truth. This is so important right now because we are living in a kingdom of lies. This is what's happening all over the world. It's lie, 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 lie. Thank you. Take it all. It's like giving medicine, taking this nasty medicine. It's all for your own good. Swallow it down. Not necessarily, because the people that are using the programming, now let me backtrack. Not everybody who is offering programming has a malicious intent. So a lot of times in our family programming, we might say, well, this is how it's supposed to be. This is what works for us. Your parents mean well. They want to protect you from getting hurt or doing something wrong. Or we're going to school and we have to learn all these things. We have to be learned a certain way. So some of the programming was there to, quote, protect us by people who love us, but it doesn't necessarily serve our higher good. So that's the thing. It's kind of like cage. I'm going to put you in a cage. Keep you safe, right? Maybe you'll be safe, but will you be happy in that cage? Probably not. So that's what programming is. It can create a cage. And then what happens is we get used to the program and we think it's normal. We think, oh yeah, we all live in a cage. There's nothing outside. We live in a cage. That's how it is. We live in a cage. So that's what we are. We're all living in a cage. We're living in a cage of our planet right now. Now there's other kinds of programming that isn't as kind. It is malicious. It keeps people under control. So there are some things called psychological operations. It's called psyops. I know it sounds really woo-woo. I don't want to get too much on the what we call the train of things that people don't want to talk about. But I feel like this is important to talk to when it comes to clairvoyance. Because if you're still operating from lies that you hold as truth, you're not going to be able to see things clearly. Really, I'm going to say that again. If you're still operating from lies that you hold as truth, you will not see things clearly. So how do we let go of the lies? Well, the first thing you're going to do is we're going to start a meditation practice. There are a lot of ways to clear out lies. By meditating and finding that neutral place, you can kind of remove the emotion. Now, some of the programming is based on emotion. So emotion clogs things in. Now, the emotions of fear, anger, control. Fear is a big one. If someone's using fear to get you to do something, and it's not like there's a giant that's going to stomp on you or you're going to have a tiger tear you up, that's controlling you, because fear only exists in the present time, because fear is your body's response to something that's going to be fight or flight. That's it. That's all fear is. So if we fear things to project in the future, then that's not real true fear. It's not. Fear is only real when it's in the moment. In fact, all the body emotions are. That's another thing. So this is kind of counter to what's been going on, is everybody's getting all upset and getting angry about imaginary things. Okay, that keeps us at each other. We are all here together. Everybody on the planet, including all the rocks and stones, are all one body, like cells in the body. So that's one way to realize when you're being programmed or you have a lie that you're holding as truth, is there's some motion there. There's emotionally controlling energy that's trying to control you. Maybe for your best interest by some people, other times not, because they want you put away in the cage and not recognizing it. So you have to clear out the lies in order to see something that's the truth. Because if we're holding those lies right here, it's kind of like the bars of the cage. We can't see through it. We have to remove it. And it's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. But you have to be disciplined to take a look at these things and go, okay, there's a reason why that felt weird to me. There's a reason why I wasn't comfortable with that, because that was some programming that we learn in school. That's why a lot of people homeschool or they do other things. So there's got to be a process that you have to kind of learn to clean up the vase. We need to clean our cup so we can see clearly through it. And all that programming, and the older you are, the more programming you have. So it's a process to clear all that stuff out. So meditation is a great way. We were taught a way to clear out meditation. First of all, you can breathe things through, but sometimes when you can feel this picture, so we were taught to look at pictures and seeing the truth in that picture and try to remove yourself from it. And then if you could actually, they have this process called creating a rose and destroying it. So you can use a mental image picture. It doesn't have to be a rose. It could be a car. It could be a square or whatever. And you're going to project in your mind's eye the energy into that. And then you're going to destroy it. And sometimes that will slowly help you see the truth behind the lie. Sometimes what will happen is you'll see, okay, here's this lie I believed. And then when you start doing what we call energy work on it and removing it and clearing it and getting clear, you'll go, oh, this is what happened. My mom wanted to protect me from men that might take advantage of me as when I was dating or something. So that would be like an innocent one. But then there's some more not so innocent one where people want to control you for a reason. Sometimes it's crowd control in school. Sometimes it's accepting things that we shouldn't be accepting because someone has an agenda to manipulate you. So you have to really be careful and step back. That's what we call neutrality. We have to step back in the center of our head so we're not thinking, we're not rationalizing, because that's another trap. If you have to mentally hold on to, this is why, and they said this, and this is this why, and this is blah, 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 then that's an analyzer trap. Right. So if you're stuck in an analyzer trap, which is another way we're manipulated, it doesn't make sense, but we are told that way. You have to pull back. You have to learn to pull back from the emotion. You need to learn to pull back from the mind that is going to rationalize things, right? That's how people believe lies. They rationalize it. But we have to clear out the lies. We have to do it. Our survival on this planet requires it. Yes. So we have to be able to recognize who is lying and who is not. It's tough because we all have emotional agendas or what we want to believe, but we have to pull it back. Now, another technique that I really enjoyed learning is recapitulation. And that was taught by the Don Juan books, Carlos Castaneda, right? And I actually was fortunate enough to train with someone who's trained with Carlos Castaneda. And you can Google it yourself, but it's a way of looking at things in your life. It's a different focus and clearing out the emotional energy so you can see things more clearly. So you really can't see clearly until you actually go through all this stuff, because we're all been programmed. We all have on all levels. But now is the time to learn to drop the programming and get real. And so here's the thing, I'm going to go back with it. So what we need to do is be aware of emotional manipulation, be aware, especially fear, but anger too, because if you're getting angry about an idea, that's not real anger. Anger is something where someone's threatening you and you need to push back. So all of our emotions are meant to be our body's system, like we're a boat in the ocean. You know, it's going to be an rocky ocean. We've got to prepare. It's in the moment. An emotion is supposed to be your emotional guidance system in this moment. And so if you're getting manipulated to get angry, fearful, scared, sad, and it's something that is abstract concept, that's a good sign that you're being manipulated and you're being programmed. Also, the analyzer, constantly think. That, again, it's just a processor. We need to pull back from the analyzer, and we need to let go of the emotional energy and pull back into the center of our head and really look at it. Sometimes it's going to be completely different than what you think. So I'm not going to tell you what to think or what to say or what to feel. Everybody has to do this on their own. You can't read a book. You can't watch a video. You can't do any of that. You have to do the work yourself and clear out those limits. Sometimes there are limits about yourself. Like someone said, oh, you're dumb, or you can't sing. I'm a voice teacher. I hear that all the time. Oh, you're not singing, just mouth the words. These are all lies. These are all programs. And people carry these around forever until they just clear it out. So there's lots of things that we can clear out, but it's key for us to train our clairvoyance, our clear seeing, which is what we all can do, but we can't do it until we're in a neutral space. In fact, I'll say when we were training as in the clairvoyant training, when we were going, because what we did is we would do readings. People come to our place. I didn't know them. We did readings and we did it in groups, but we basically needed to meditate for half an hour to an hour before we were reading. Why? To clear out our energy, whatever our day was. We had to clear our vessel and let go of the day and let go of the programming and let go of what happened so we could be present to see what we're going to see in a neutral place. Because once we start judging, then we're not neutral. So that's another thing. If you're going to get all judgy, that's another trigger. So judging, which usually is associated with analyzing, and then the emotional triggers that don't exist in real time, those are things that we are suspect. All right. Thanks for everybody who's here. Thanks, Melissa, Julie, Adrian. I'm so glad you could join me. This is not my typical day. One of these days, I'm going to schedule these in advance so people can be there. But I feel so strongly we all need to be dedicated with this. I do too. I'm not saying I have it all done. I have more training to do. I have more letting go. But this is what we're all called to do right now. So we can all see clearly what's going on in the drama of our lives right now. We're going to look back and say, yeah, we lived through that, right? And we persevered and made this world a better place. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk some more later. All right. Love you.